ISO, Tony, hundreds of times stronger than morphine, stronger than fentanyl. What is it? Where is it hitting? Let's go. Kyle Ruggeri, the Soberdog, coming at you with the scruffy beard going today. We're gonna talk about ISO, hitting the streets across the US, deadly, deadly substance. We gotta get into it and talk about it. Before I get going, remember Soberdogs does not promote or condone drug use. Please seek professional medical help if you have an addiction. All right. ISO. You may have seen some news reports on this or some articles coming out depending on where you live, but this is a substance that has been hitting the streets at a pretty rapid rate the last couple months, and we got to talk about it because it is very dangerous. ISO, or Tony, or the actual name of it is isotonitazine, aka nitazene, is a synthetic opioid that is hitting the streets at a pretty rapid rate. Now, this isn't a new substance. It was first synthesized in the 1950s by a bunch of Swiss researchers at the firm Ciba, now Novartis, pretty monster pharmaceutical company. They synthesized this with a class called benzimidazole opioids. I may have said that wrong pronunciation, but benzimidazole opioids. There's a bunch in this category, and isotonitazene is one of them. Now, when they first synthesized these, they specifically didn't really use them in the years after because many of them were incredibly potent, and it just is not realistic to use something that shuts people down, right away for a medication. But they, added different compounds and adjust, and some of them were able to be used here and there, but not to a huge extent. Now, some of the other ones they synthesize in this class, and there's dozens, can be up to hundreds of times more potent than morphine. For context, fentanyl is about 100 times more potent, up to 100 times more potent than morphine. Some of these other ones, hundreds. Now, ISO in its powder form is yellow, brown, or off-white. It has been found as far back as 2019 by the DEA mixed in with street drugs, but nothing to the level it is being seen in the last couple months. Specifically, Florida, the Midwest, DC, and a couple of West Coast spots. It's basically the first time all different parts of the country have been seen, and DEA and police reports and autopsy reports are finding ISO mixed in. In the past, in 2019, it was more of a scattered thing in a simple, in one area. But now it's showing that it's spreading big time at a pretty rapid rate. So what makes ISO so dangerous? Now, the obvious reason, the potency, of course. Anything that is that much more potent than morphine and even more potent than fentanyl is extremely dangerous. I've done fentanyl many times. It hits quicker than other opioids. The main danger with an opioid overdose is what it does is it shuts down your breathing and your respiratory. It slows your whole system down. So your breathing slows and then goes to nothing. Fentanyl does it quicker because it actually hits you quicker. Drugs like this that are even more potent, if you give to somebody, it could just shut them down, so quickly. They're so powerful. And the people mixing these don't know really what they're doing. And the train that goes down from, maybe there's a professional chemist, creating this for the cartels or in another country. But then what happens? It gets shipped, and then there's other people mixing it either with batches of heroin or pressed pills or other drugs. They don't know what they're doing. They may not mix it properly. There's a whole cycle by the time it gets down to the end user. If somebody who has no tolerance takes a pill mixed with ISO in it, it's probably game over right away. So it's just the potency is what makes it so dangerous. And also the fact that there is dozens of other compounds and dozens of other opioids in this class, all they got to do when one gets banned or outlawed or caught on is just tweak one little chemical and they can get a different one. And then they mix it with this one. And some of the ones in this class can be up to 2,000 times stronger than morphine. Yeah, 2,000. Again, for context, fentanyl is about 100 times stronger than morphine. Some of the opioids in this class that benzimidazole class can be up to 2,000 times stronger. And a lot of these chemists that are creating these aren't working for the good people, you know? They're not the top of the top chemists and doctors. They make mistakes, and there's not people checking their work, and then it gets trickled down to the cartels and other people and then hits the street. The other thing that makes this so dangerous with any opioid that is that powerful, you know, fentanyl, any of these in this class, carfentanil, the other fentanyl derivatives, is it's starting to take multiple Narcan doses to pop somebody out of an overdose. That's really dangerous. You have families, because someone, you know, drug user either lives with them or their kids or their brother or whoever, they went out and got a Narcan kit. A lot of those kits have 1, maybe 2 Narcans in it. You know, a lot of ambulances aren't carrying boxes of Narcan. So they could have an overdose and they help somebody and then another one and they help somebody and then another one of the night, and they only have 1 Narcan left. Obviously, hopefully they can call and get another one, but there's a bunch of cases in the news coming out where it is taking 3, 4 Narcans to pop somebody out of some of these overdoses because these substances are so damn strong. That is incredibly dangerous. Incredibly dangerous. Something hundreds of times more potent than morphine and more potent than fentanyl being mixed in. Please, anyone out there still actively using, be careful what you take. ISO cannot be detected typically until a lab test. So with the little hand test that they're giving out now in a lot of places, it's not going to test for ISO. It'll test, you know, some of them test for fentanyl, but it can be very dangerous. Please, 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 always have Narcan and be careful, be safe. ISO, Tony, nitazene is hitting the streets, and it's hitting it hard right now. K-Ruggs The Soberdog, and I'm out. See ya.